Two. Okay, shalom everybody, and Chanukah Sameach, Chodesh Tov, Shavua Tov. There's so much, especially now. By us, it's already the last night of Chanukah, which is called Zot Chanukah, right? And B'ezrat Hashem, by you guys, it's going to be Zot Chanukah, which is the climax. We want to go into some details based on the writings of Rav Nosson, the insights of Rav Nosson in his Likutey Halachot. The discourse that he talks about this extensively is Birkat Hoda'ah, the laws of thanksgiving, discourse number 6, which of course is based on Likutey Moharan lesson 24. He says some amazing things about the culmination of Chanukah. We're going to go into that, and then also, if we have time, we'll go into a nice chidush on a piece that we say in Ma'oz Tzur, the song that is recited at the time of Chanukah candles, the famous song Ma'oz Tzur. First, we have to explain the following introductions, both from the Kabbalah and as Rav Nosson explains them, to get to the point that we want to get to. The Arizal writes, in the writings of the Kabbalah, that the goal of Chanukah is to activate the 13 attributes of mercy. In Hebrew, we call them the Yud Gimel Midot Shel Rachamim. Okay, these are the 13 attributes of mercy that Hashem revealed to Moshe after the golden calf. When Moshe was trying to activate forgiveness, so Hashem revealed to him the secret how to activate forgiveness is to mention the 13 attributes of mercy. So Chanukah, our goal is through lighting the candles on the 8 days of Chanukah, is also to activate the 13 attributes of mercy. The problem is it's only 8 days. How do you in 8 days activate 13 attributes of mercy? It's like each day of Chanukah is meant to activate above in heaven one of the 13 attributes of mercy. They are, if you were just to recall, Kel, Rachum, V'chanun, Erech Apayim, V'rav Chesed, V'emet, Notzer Chesed La'alafim, Noseh Avon, V'afesha V'chata'a, V'nakeh. I have to say, I always get mixed up. One more time. Kel, Rachum, V'chanun, Erech Apayim, V'rav Chesed, V'emet. Right, so Notzer Chesed is number 8. La'alafim, Noseh Avon, V'afesha V'chata'a, V'nakeh. Okay? They translate as Kel Rachum, a God who is compassionate, and Chanina, and gives always another chance. Erech Apayim is patient and abundant in kindness and in truth, who guards and keeps aside kindness for two interpretations: 1,000 generations, alafim, or against the alufim of Esav, the chieftains of our enemies of Esav. Hashem who forgives, Noseh Avon, he removes, lifts up iniquity, sin, and transgression, and heals, and cleans us up, okay? So ideally, the 8 days of Chanukah are meant to activate each day one of the 13 attributes of mercy. But like we said, the question is, it's only 8 days. It's days, each day is corresponding to one of the 13 attributes, okay, but I only have 8 days. So they say that on the 8th day, we activate 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 6 of the final end attributes of the 13 attributes of mercy are activated. You see this also in the Parsha reading. In the Parshiyot that we read during Chanukah, it's called Parshat HaNesi'im. We read the sacrifices offered by the 12 tribes. So if you noticed, up to day 8, tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem, we do the first, up to day 7, we do the first 7 tribes, okay? And then day 8, we do tribe number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 5 tribes left. And then Zot Chanukah. Why is it called Zot Chanukah? Because the reading of the Parsha tomorrow on the 8th day is Zot Chanukah HaMizbeach. This is the inauguration of the temple, and it summarizes all the donations given by all the 12 princes from the 12 tribes. Okay? So with that, it's 13. So you see that also in the Parsha reading, we read from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's interesting. On day number 8, we activate from 8 to 13 of the attributes of mercy. Okay? How does that work, and why is it broken up like that? So Rav Nosson, he quotes again from the Arizal, that it's known in the Kabbalah, even though we don't go into it that much because we have no grasp in that area. There's many what's called meditations, Kabbalistic meditations, but there's a rule we have that when a Jew does mitzvot with total simplicity and joy, he can activate the greatest Kabbalistic meditations. He doesn't have to go into that area. Rabbi Nachman teaches today, by being a simple Jew, doing the mitzvot with simplicity and joy, you automatically activate what the Arizal says to concentrate on this, concentrate on that. When these tzaddikim, these Kabbalists did that, they were so happy and simple at their level that automatically for them it's activating these unifications and meditations of Yud Ke Vav Ke and Aleph Ke Yud Ke and the Gematriot, etc., etc. That was for them their simple level. Today, with everything we have, with rock music and culture and westernization and work and food and cereal and Cracker Jack, I don't know, whatever you've gone through in life, you're alvai, if only you can be a simple Jew in our terms today of what's called simple and be happy in doing that, Bezrat Hashem. By doing that, you can activate the highest Kabbalistic meditations. There's no need for you to go in that direction. You can reach a level, yes, that your simple attitude in serving Hashem, in other words, it comes automatic with the mitzvah, can technically be like the Kabbalists of 400, 500 years ago, of the Rashash, of the Arizal, etc., where by them, when they said Baruch, automatically all these mystical combinations popped up, but that was their simple level. For us today, in our modern day definition, as we understand it, as simple, straightforward, honest, and happy, that is enough to activate and connect to all of these awesome levels. There's no need to invest there. Rather, invest in serving Hashem, being simple and with joyous. Here, Rabbi Nachman says you'll get much farther. You will accomplish much, much more if you take this simple pathway and road and of joy and simplicity in serving Hashem. Okay? So going back, Rav Nosson quotes the Kabbalists that they say like this. I think it's he says clearly it's from the writings of the Arizal, but not the books that we have available. In Eastern Ukraine back then, they were very limited in how many volumes of the writings of the Arizal they had access to. They didn't have, like, for example, Shar Kavanot, Shar Psukim. They didn't have these books. Rav Nosson, he maximum quotes always Etz Chaim, Pre-Etz Chaim, the main books, but he doesn't quote all of them because they didn't have access to them. Only once more and more Jews from Europe started coming to Yerushalayim, and Yerushalayim, they had access to all the writings of the Arizal, so then it was easier to elaborate, but they had to do what they had. So, nonetheless, Rav Nosson did, by the way, have access on the side from all these other books, or books quoting these books, so he knew about the concepts. So Nosson brings down from the Arizal that the goal of Chanukah, one of the meditations is to activate Yud Ke Vav Ke, Hashem's name. Hashem's name, Yud Ke Vav Ke, equals, Yud is 10, K is really, hey, we don't pronounce it we out of respect, and we're forbidden to. So we say K, which is really hey, and that's 5. And then Vav 6, and then the last K, again 5. So that's 26. 26 times, how does it work? Times the 13 days. We want to reach Yud Ke Vav Ke 13 times. To explain, we said each day of Chanukah is to correspond to one of the 13 attributes of mercy. But from our perspective, each one of the 13 attributes of mercy require an activation of Hashem's name in its entirety. And the numerical value of Hashem's name in its entirety is 26. So it's 26 times 13. Our goal in Chanukah, part of there's many meditations. Don't get me wrong. There's many combinations and different things. One of the standard ones is to have activated Yud Ke Vav Ke times 13 to correspond to the 13 attributes of mercy. I want for each one a 26 unique for that day. Kel has its 26. Rachum has its 26. V'chanun 26, like that, okay? Equals, what do you get when you do 26 times 13? 26, again, Hashem's name, Yud, K, Vav, K, which equals 26, times 13. The 13 are the 13 attributes of mercy, which should ideally correspond to 13 days. We don't have 13 days. We have only 8 in Chanukah. There should be 13. We're going to go into this. Why is it only 8? It should be 13. If we want to the miracle of Chanukah is light. Light comes from Hashem's name. Light comes from Hashem's 13 attributes of mercy. It makes sense that we would want 13, the number 13. But the miracle is only 8 days. But why? We want to go into this now. It should be 13. You do on the 8th day, like we said, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Whether it's on the korbanot, the sacrifices of the princes that we're going to, the nesiim of the tribes that we're going to read tomorrow. So we're adding everything on day number 8. And whether it's on the according to the Kabbalah, the other attributes of mercy, from Notzer Chesed La'alafim, Noseh Avon, Vafesha V'chata'ah V'nakeh, another 6 on the day number 8. You know, why are they doing that? Why was it constricted? Just do 13 days. It should have been 13-day miracle of Chanukah. Why 8 days? Let it be 13, okay? We're going to get there, but first, let's continue. Our goal, the Arizal says, is to activate Yud Ke Vav Ke times 13, the 13 attributes of mercy. Equals what? Equals exactly the numerical value of the two names, Yaakov and Yosef. Okay? Yaakov is in itself, Yaakov, Yud, Ein, 70. Okay, that's 80. Kuf, 100. And Bet, 2. Is equal to 7 times 26. So of the 13, Yaakov takes up 7 days, 7 attributes, because his name is equal to 26 times 7. Yosef, Yud 10, Vav 6, Samech 60, Pei 80, is equal to 26 times the remaining days, which is what? Which is 6. 6 times 26 equals Yosef. So going back, Yaakov takes up 7 times 26, as if this first 7 days of Chanukah is Yaakov. Yosef is the other 6 remaining attributes of mercy, because it's 13 in total. 7 plus 6 is 13, right? So the corresponding day for Yosef is only the 8th day of Chanukah, because again, he's 26 times 6, and it starts on day number 8, Yosef. But again, we include in Yosef day numbers 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to get to the 13 attributes, all in day number 8. So, but the goal is to have this in mind. One of the Kabbalistic meditations is we're activating the merit of Yaakov and Yosef by having activated by the Chanukah candles and the days of Chanukah. Each day a Yud Ke Vav Ke in itself. Again, that's going over what we said earlier. So there should be 13 days, 13 attributes according to 13 days times 26. We don't have that. We have 8. So we have 7 are okay. Each of the first 7 days of Chanukah, 26, 1, 13. Date number 2, 26, this another 13. Okay? Every day has 26. Okay? One set. We want to get to 26 times 13. Sorry to get you confused there. Okay? So the first 7 days, that's Gematria 26 times 7 is Yaakov. So Yaakov, his name, his merit, covers the first 7 days of Chanukah. Yosef, starting at day number 8, ending at the technical hidden day within day number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that would be 26 times 6 is Gematria Yosef. So Yosef's light technically starts tonight on Zot Chanukah, and it's hidden. Afterwards, the remaining 5 days or 5 attributes are hidden in Yosef's name, are included in day number 8. So Rav Nosson asks, why this division? First of all, Yaakov and Yosef, we know the 7 shepherds, but Rav Nosson points out, it's not by chance that the parshas of the year dealing with Yaakov and Yosef, okay, are always corresponding to the time of Chanukah. Miketz, Vayigash, okay, Vayechi. It's now, in a sense, the transition, Yaakov becoming established, and then coming into Yosef. Finishing off on Vayechi, the passing of Yaakov, and the rulership in Egypt of Yosef and the passing of Yosef. We want to activate these two tzaddikim. Why? Rav Nosson explains what's unique about Yaakov and Yosef. We did speak about this in last week's Parsha, Dvar Torah and Parshat Miketz, that Yaakov is the fire of truth, the fire of the Torah of truth. And Yaakov went through all his suffering and difficulty in order to establish for the upcoming children of Israel, us, the Bnei Israel, his children, named after his namesake, were called Yisrael, Israel, or the Beit Yaakov, the house of Yaakov, Jacob or Israel, however we want to call us. Okay, he's there to make an established existence of Torah, Torah performance, study, and commitment in the Jewish people as their secret for survival. That was Yaakov's whole inyan. So Yaakov's compared to the fire, and the fire of truth, Torah Emet, right? Yaakov is called is attributed with truth, right? We brought in many verses showing the connection between truth and Yaakov. Okay, Titen Emet Yaakov, give truth to Yaakov. That means Yaakov has the attribute of truth, that he's able through the cunningness of suffering with Lavan and Esav and all the distractions and difficulties of Shechem, Chamor, Dinah, the passing of Rachel, all the difficulties he went to Yaakov, all that was to build him solid, to have an establishment of truth in the Torah. He had to go through tests, yes, but he passed them all. Yaakov Shalem. Yaakov came to Shechem Shalem. Like Rashi says, he didn't learn from Lavan's ways. He didn't lose anything by giving the big gift to Esav. He wasn't also the angel of Esav that hit him on the thigh. He was healed from that. So Yaakov didn't lose out. In the end, he came out on the upper hand, and that's for the establishment for the upcoming Jewish nation. So Torah of truth is Yaakov. We want that activated on the first 7 days of Chanukah. Why? The first 7 days of Chanukah correspond to this world. This world is based on a cycle, whether it's the Torah version or the Goyish version. It's 7 days of the week. The 7 days of the week make up the creation, make up the time and the functioning of humankind, of society, is that there's a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbat. Rishon, Sheni, Shlishi, right? The system of 7, and then it starts again the cycle. Forget about numbering, which is up to 10. Talking about the day system of the world, of the functioning of the cycle of the universe. Everything was working on 7. So 7 connotes the idea of establishment in this world. Yaakov's goal, we're as the children of Israel, children of Yaakov, is to have Torah, performance, commitment, living as Jews, be established in this world. It's not enough now that a person is meditating on Judaism. He has to live it. You have to have a house. Have a house where you can raise your children, and you can do the mitzvah Shabbat and Yom Kippur and light Chanukah candles and do all the mitzvot in a house. Then you have to physically eat and drink and go to work and do things and study Torah. Everything's within this world. So the parameters of this world, Torah practicality, Torah application, that's attributed to Yaakov. Okay? That's his whole idea. Yosef, the verse reads, Beit Yaakov le'esh ubeit Yosef le'hava. Yosef is something interesting. Yosef, his name is an addition, Tosefet. He's named also Yosef because she said, Rachel, I want, Hashem should give me another son. Yosif li ben acher. Let me have another son. So the idea of Yosef is an addition. What's the addition? Rav Nosson explains. Yosef is out to get the additional sparks of the Torah, which are trapped in the domain of evil, which we call the chambers of exchanges. All evil, Rav Nosson says, they're all coined the chambers of exchanges, because that's how they work. How does evil work? To fool a person, to fool and to swap. You know, the person, he's not comfortable, he's not in the right place, and nothing's working out. And then also the person is fooled to believe one way and it's not another way. He's fooled to believe I have to be angry at this person, I have to hate this person, when really you should be loving them. All that is due to the chambers of exchanges, which the evil side utilizes to get people stuck in the way they want them to get stuck. Okay? So Yosef now, after Yaakov is established, which is the idea that a Jew is functioning. I have minimal functionability in my Torah observance and following and learning and accessing and everything else associated with doing of the Torah. That's Yaakov. I need that. You can't now just be a Jew in limbo. You have to study Torah every day. You have to daven every day. You have to put on tefillin every day. It's an obligation. We have a seder. The Sidur is called the prayer seder. Prayer book is called Sidur because it's a seder. There's a structure to being a Jew. It's not like, oh, when I feel like it, when I'm in the right mindset and I'm flying and I'm uji buji, then I'll do Judaism and then I'll connect. No, we are in this world through darkness and light. We have to have that consistency no matter what. It's true that in it there's tons of ups and downs. This is a very important point. There's many ups and downs in being a Jew. There's like the ideal situation in the mitzvah when you're stuck, you woke up late, you're anus, bishat dachak b'diavad, and not the ideal situation. What can you do? You're on a plane. Well, it's Chanukah. You couldn't light the candles. So what do you do then? Halacha is flexible when you're trying to do the best. When you're trying to do the best, and you really are trying to do the best, no excuses, and things pop up. Okay, so the halacha gives you that movement to be able to juggle with situations, but not, oh, I'm not doing anything, and then when it comes my way, then I'll take it into consideration. No. We do Judaism, and once we accept doing it, we have the yoke. Then we have ups and downs. Makes sense, but not to say, oh, I'm not entering the world of Judaism because I have too much things going on in my life. It's too much. No. You have to get into it. There's going to be ups and downs, and Hashem is understanding. They understand your situation, that I can't get up on time, I can't do this, I have to take care of it. So it's halacha. That's why it's so important to learn halacha and to know all the scenarios. If I can't do it like this, okay, so the halacha allows me to do more like this. I can't do like that, okay. But flexibility once you've accepted the yoke of Torah, not where I have no yoke yet, okay? This is Yaakov. Yaakov is the yoke of Torah, truth, and me being established in my Judaism, in my Torah observance. And even if there's ups and downs, but I'm established. Okay? Shabbat, no games. No playing games with Shabbat. No way. Shabbat is Shabbat. I'm not going to, okay, it's convenient, I'll do it on Sunday or Friday. No. Shabbat is Shabbat. And it's desecration. It's big time danger if you by smoking on Shabbat or driving, whatever, it's serious. Then there's situations, by accident, I woke up and I forgot Shabbat, I turned off the alarm clock. What do I do? You're not guilty. It's like not your fault. You want to keep Shabbat. You're trying your best. So the halacha gives you openings what to do in tight situations. The lights are turned off. I need now someone to turn back on. We can't do the Shabbat table. What do I do? There are halachas and all these things, okay? That's Yaakov. He's up to seven. Yosef, like we said, he now is the part of life. He represents this tzaddik Yosef. You see, every Jew has in him the time of Yosef and the time of Yaakov. Yaakov is when things are scheduled, organized, and everything. But then you have the situations where I'm totally lost, I'm totally blown out, I'm burnt out, I'm just going through so many crazy things, I can't even function, I can't even think straight. What then? What do you want from me then, Hashem? That's where the attribute and attitude of Yosef kicks in. Yosef is now the ability by this tzaddik, but also by every Jew, to be able to look for additional holy sparks trapped in the chambers of exchanges. To explain, the reason why you're going through such crazy things, because you are presently, at that situation you are in, entering the domain of the chambers of exchanges. Even against your will, you didn't ask for it. But heaven says, you're ready now, you have to get back there what's yours, what's rightfully what was stolen from you. Whether in this reincarnation, whether from previous reincarnations. Whether due to things that you did in your lifetime earlier that caused you to lose, you have to get back. You're not complete until you get back those sparks. And if you chicken out on it, so then you're sent back again in reincarnation again and again and again until you get all of those sparks that are attached to you, that are connected to you. This is the idea of Yosef. Okay? Yosef is that part of that tzaddik. That's why Yaakov thought, Parashat Vayeshev, he thought, now I can settle and learn Torah. Bikesh Yaakov leshev b'shalva. Parashat Vayeshev means he sat down. Yaakov said, whew, now I can finally sit down and learn. No, now there's Yosef. Yaakov, you did your part, great. Very good, bravo. You established, you went through a lot, Yaakov the tzaddik. We're all your children, Yaakov. You're the establishment of the Torah. Because it's in this world. It can't be just, when I can and I'll do it. I have to be consistent. I have to do. Okay? In that there's ups and downs, like we said. Fine, but I'm doing. That's Yaakov. Yaakov said, okay, the part of a Jew that finally I'm established, finally this, finally that. No, now you're ready for Yosef. Yosef is the second part of your life, where that you have to go to domains where you don't want to go to. scenarios you don't want to be in, darkness, lethargy, sadness. You're thrown into these in situations, also painful, very difficult situations. All that because you are entering now the chambers of exchanges themselves. And before that, I'm comfortable. I'm my comfort zone, trying to serve Hashem in my comfort zone. But now the attribute of Yosef is to get a person to go all the way into the Tuma, all the way into the darkness, okay? And there to extract. And how to extract? Rabbi Nachman teaches, you have to work on being happy. You have to be joyous, okay? With joy, you will extract what's there. You were thrown in these situations and you feel brokenheartedness, you feel sadness, you feel anxiety, you feel depression, you feel trauma, you feel whatever you're feeling that's making you feel bad. Okay, that's the sign that you're in the domain, the chambers of exchanges. How out? How do I get out? Like Yosef did. Yosef was thrown in the dungeon and Ish Matzliach, he was a very successful person. Why? The Midrash says he was always happy and dancing, and he was happy about his little good points. The Midrash says he was happy about his circumcision. He was happy that he had tzitzit on, that he had a beard, that he had peyot, that he had his Judaism on, and he was happy about that. And that's how he succeeded in extracting all the sparks until he became the viceroy of Egypt, okay? That's how far-reaching it was. So this is Yosef, and your life also. You're thrown into dark situations, like the dungeon of Yosef, and the prison, and also being a slave to Potiphar, who was like Sarta Bachin, who was the slaughterer of the king. He was the one who executed, the executor of the king of Egypt, okay? Very bad place, and yet he succeeded in getting out because he was happy. Okay? So that's Yosef. But Yosef's light starts on day number 8 of Chanukah. Because like we said, 7 times 26, the first 7 days of Chanukah times 26 is Gematria Yaakov. So Yaakov takes up the first 7 days of Chanukah. But now Yosef, we only have 1 day revealed. Number 8 corresponds to the Yud Kei Vav Kei of the 8th attribute of mercy. Before I forget, by the way, the first 7 attributes of the 13, which cover Yaakov's thing, take a look at them. Kel, Rachum, V'chanun, Erech Apayim, Chesed, Ve'emet. 7 ends with truth. That's the chotam, that's the seal of Yaakov. Yaakov, he ends, the 7th attribute of the 13 is emet, truth. Okay? If we want to go in more detail, the Kabbalah teaches that the 13 attributes of mercy are arranged like a pyramid. So you have 6 on this side, 6 on this side, and number 7 is on the top of the pyramid. So what's on the top of the pyramid? Kel, Rachum, V'chanun, Erech Apayim, Rav Chesed, Ve'emet. Number 7, because it's 13. So the 6 here. Number 7, which is the finalization of Yaakov, is Ve'emet, the truth. That's Yaakov's thing. The truth, get the truth out there, the truth of Judaism, which is in this world. Have it revealed. That's Yaakov's 7th and final and all-inclusive attribute of the 13 attributes is number 7, Ve'emet. In other words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accumulates. Kel, Rachum, V'chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed. It's an accumulation to get to number 7, which is Ve'emet. And then after that starts Yosef, who is the next 6 only. He doesn't have 7, he's 6. Because like we said, 6 times 26, right? Yud Kei Vav Kei is Gematria Yosef. So Yosef starts at Notzer Chesed, attribute number 8. After now going down the pyramid, downhill now, we're at the top, Ve'emet, and I want to conclude the next 6 of the 13 attributes. The first one is Notzer Chesed. Hashem who Notzer guards, and keeps a watch on, keeps an eye on the chesed, la'alafim, for the 1,000 generations, or better put, alufim. Don't read alafim, rather read alufim, the chieftains, the tribes of Esav, who are out to destroy Am Yisrael, okay? That's the idea of Notzer Chesed. That's number 8. Corresponding to day number 8 of Chanukah. Hidden in that is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now, why is that? So Rosh says something unbelievable. When any Jew enters the domain of the chambers of exchanges, there's no guidelines. There's no book to guide you what to do here. You're totally lost. You're all alone in this test because it's a unique path that no man has gone before. You are entering the chambers of exchanges where everything's mixed up. There's no rules here. How are you going to get out? How are you going to extract? That's why 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 can't be revealed. There's no day 9 of Chanukah, day 10, 11, 12, 13. There should be technically, in order to correspond to the 13 attributes of mercy. It shouldn't have been an 8-day miracle. It should be technically 13, because we want to activate all 13 levels of compassion down in this world to the light of Chanukah, which is actually happening based on the Kabbalah. That's what you have to have in mind, according to the Arizal, when lighting the Chanukah candles every night, to have a different configuration of Yud Kei Vav Kei, matching one of the 13 attributes. So we see it's there, but yet there's only 8 days. Why? Why do you have revealed 9, 10, 11, 12, 13? Why only the first of the upcoming 6 making up Yosef's thing? Why is that revealed? So Rav Nosson says, like we said, when it comes to Yosef, the Tosefet, the additional Torah hidden in a person, what a person's going through in his existence, and he has to access the hidden Torah, the hidden sparks, the hidden holiness that belongs to him, that's trapped in the chambers of exchanges. There's no rules, and it's so concealed that we can't give a revealed day. Okay, day number 9 is corresponding to this. By the way, take a look at the following 6 attributes of the 13 from Yosef's number 8. Notzer Chesed is now like the actual weapon. Hashem, who guards and keeps a watch on the kindness. For who? La'alafim, like we said, alufim, for the chieftains, the thousands of chieftains of Esav. And then to atone sin, Noseh avon va'fesha v'chata'a, the one who lifts up sin and iniquity and transgression. All that is like now the byproduct of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to access the holiness in order to subdue the chieftains of Esav, in order to lift up and activate atonement of sin, transgressions, and iniquities. I want that. That's the result. So it's all starting from number 8, Notzer Chesed. So Rav Nosson points out something unbelievable. The letters of Notzer, which we said translates as Hashem who guards, keeps a watch on, keeps an eye on the Chesed, Notzer Chesed, La'alafim, for the sake of the 1,000. One interpretation, like we said, is the 1,000 generations. The second one, which we want to focus on more, is La'alufim, the chieftains of Esav. Okay? So he says the word Notzer, Nun, Vav, Tzadik, Reish, when rearranged, is Ratzon. Unbelievable. Meaning, when a person enters the domain of the chambers of exchanges to get back which is his, which again is starting tonight on Zot Chanukah. The idea of Zot Chanukah, we're entering the domain of Yosef to get to the hidden Torah, which I need to get. You know, if I'm here in this world, Rabbi Nachman taught once, if you're here in this world now in 2026, 25, 26, that means you've been here many times already. You've been reincarnated again and again and again. Why all these reincarnations? Rabbi Nachman teaches that any Jew walking around today has been already in every single Jewish cemetery in the world. You've been here so many times. You have like a spark of your nefesh or your ruach and neshama that was in some cemetery in Sana'a, in Yemen, or in Morocco, in Poland, in Amsterdam, wherever there's Jewish cemeteries, you were there also. You're a spark of you. You've been back so many times already. You know, all this, why? Because the mission is not complete. Hashem wants every spark brought back. No spark left behind. And only you can connect the sparks that are attributed to you. You know, another guy, another Joe Schmo Jew, he has his sparks that he has. He has his own pekalech, his own thing to do. You know, leave him alone. Don't say, let him take care, let the tzaddikim take care of what I'm missing. No. They belong to you. Your mission in this world is to connect. Only you can go as a scuba diver to go. You know exactly the cracks. You can fit in that crack to get in, to get the hidden pearls that are trapped deep in this sea of the chambers of the darkness, the abyss of the chambers of exchanges. Okay, so going back, we said there's no rules here. So what do you activate? Ratzon. He says, Rav Nosson, your main weapon, and by extension, or not by extension, by practice, not theoretically, by practice, Yosef's main weapon. How was he able to be sameach? How was Yosef able to be happy in Egypt in such an impurity, in the jail cell, in the bore, in the pit, like Rashi says, and by Potiphar's wife, all these tests? How could he be so happy? Because Rav Nosson explains, his ratzon was intact. He was always expressing his ratzon, telling Hashem, I just want to be a good Jew. Hashem, all this I'm going through in my life, all the misery of my life, all the difficulties, is for you, not for me. I'm not trying to enjoy myself and have Club Med in this world. I know that I'm here to serve you. This world is vanity. I see already, Hashem, I pick up the message that to work hard for this world in itself is a waste of time. To work hard for this world in order to do mitzvah, to give tzedakah, to do achnasat orchim, to do Shabbat, Yom Kippur, to buy mitzvah, to buy tefillin, mezuzot, etc., etc., etc. That I make sense. That's the whole purpose of the world is for that. No problem. But in itself is vanity. So Hashem, look at me. I'm trying to be a good Jew. I'm trying to come back to you. What did Yosef say? Yosef was crying out to Hashem, I just want to be a good Jew. That ratzon led him to be besimcha. Okay? But more than this, Rav Nosson says like this: the only revealed part of the chambers of exchanges, when dealing with them, the only part that can be revealed to you in the guidelines, what to do in extracting, to do Yosef, the only guideline you can have is notzer chesed. Notzer, like we said, is rearranges the letters ratzon. The ratzon, and that activates chesed. You hear that? If now you express your desire to Hashem, you tell Hashem, I just want to be a Jew, I just want to serve you, I just want to do the right thing, Hashem. You articulate your ratzon, that is enough already to activate chesed. And once that's activated, number 8, that leads to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, the hidden part of Yosef. In other words, this the part where you're dealing with the alufim, all the enemies, Esav, the evil forces controlling Esav, the iniquities, the sins, the transgressions, to get them forgiven. The only guideline you can be given on a revealed level is number 8, which is Notzer Chesed, which is the letters of Ratzon. Ratzon activates the Chesed, and that is the gateway for the Simcha. When you get the Simcha, that's the sign that the sparks are coming back in. When you've achieved Simcha in the rut, in the darkness, in the difficulty, you've achieved Simcha, you made it, bro. You're in, that's it. You extracted Yosef, the Tosefet, the additional Torah. Coming back to you is indicated in joy. If you succeed while being in the darkness of the chambers of exchanges to be happy, that is the sign that you've extracted already. That's the result. What's needed for that, to activate that, Rav Nosson says, is Notzer Chesed. Okay? That was the insight. That we should zocher to have this in mind, not just at the lighting on the 8th day, but the whole 8th day. That should be that's a mindset Rav Nosson gives to us, a beautiful mindset to have in mind. What day number 8? Why it's so important? Why do they make so much noise about Zot Chanukah? Why do they say the Rosh Hashanah pushed off to Yom Kippur, pushed off to Rosh Hashanah Rabbah, and finalization on Zot Chanukah? Right? You know that the decrees is now issued on Rosh Hashanah. If you're a Benoni, then you're given to Yom Kippur. Okay, and then we cry to Hoshana Rabbah because we still have a chance that even a person has a negative decree on him, he can change it still on Hoshana Rabbah. And then they go on to say further, the Hasidic Sfarim and other Sfarim also, that really the time that the actual the messengers actually arrive to execute what they were meant to they were written to like the police officer getting now the message from what's above him now going to actually do it. That takes place on the last day of Chanukah. So the year, technically, these first 3 months, unbelievable, of Tishrei, Cheshvan, and then Kislev, and now finally we begin Tevet, these first 3 months were like a preparation. Still, trying to get things moving, and finalization is on Zot Chanukah. What's so special about Zot Chanukah? Because it's the gateway to the hidden Torah from the chambers of exchanges. If now you've entered that domain, and you have the right guidelines from the tzaddikim, in particular what the Arizal is saying, how Rav Nosson is explaining it, Notzer Chesed, that automatically activates Lalafim, Noseavon, Vafesha V'chatav V'naked, the next following 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 6 attributes of the 13 attributes of mercy, activating them on this day number 8. And we don't mention them because you can't. Each person is different. I can only mention number 8, Notzer Chesed. So we should be zocher to use that. With all this, one last insight. In Mao's Tzur, there's a quote that everyone knows, or everyone who sings, everyone sings there's many tunes on that section of Mao's Tzur. So there's a phrase which is really emphasized, Umi notar kan kahanim, right? I'll translate. from it's a poem. It's a beautiful poem that we read. It's a prayer and a poem, however you want to read it, however you want to perceive it. We say umunotar kankanim naasa nes la shoshanim. From the leftover, the remaining jugs, kankanim, jugs, naasa nes was made a miracle, la shoshanim, for the roses, a flower, a rose. Roses refers to Am Yisrael, the Jewish people, and also refers to the Kohanim who are doing the lighting of the menorah on the Beit HaMikdash. So it's saying the whole miracle of Chanukah was that from notar, whatever was left over, like they had found only one jar left over that wasn't made impure by the Greeks. If you, I assume you know the story of Chanukah, right? So from the one jar, that jug of olive oil that was still sealed with the insignia and the seal of the Kohen Gadol, that this is pure olive oil for the temple menorah. So from notar, what was left over from the kankanim, a miracle happened that instead of burning for one day, because there's only oil enough for one day, it burned for 8 days. So there was a miracle for the Shoshanim, for the Jewish people, that we had the menorah shining. The menorah to shine is very important, because the idea of the menorah, based on the Zohar and the Kabbalah and Chassidut, is the idea of the menorah is to shine the light of the temple to the entire world. The goal of the menorah wasn't that Hashem needed the light, because again, all the windows were closed. The goal of the menorah, the Kohen lighting the menorah, is now to take this light of all the atonement and devotion done in the temple, get it out to the world, shine it. How? It's a little tiny, compared to the world. It's also closed in the temple. No one's seeing it. It's a spiritual light, activated by the physical light. Okay. Now look how we're going to explain it. Rabbi Nachman, he also expressed that the story that he revealed in his stories, Rabbi Nachman's stories, story number 11, which is called the Exchanged Children. This story, Rav Nosson writes, is totally connected to the whole concept of the chambers of exchanges. Okay? Every detail of the story is about a mix-up. The true king's son is being pursued by the true servant's son, who becomes king. And he wants to kill the true prince. And the true prince is really frustrated and broken, because he's been exiled, he's been kicked out. And he says, what has Hashem done to me? If now I'm really the king's son, I don't deserve this. And if I'm really the son of the servant, I also don't deserve this. Either which way you look at it, I don't deserve what I'm going through. And he was so broken and frustrated. Rabbi Nachman says that he went into drinking alcohol and into prostitutions. He went to brothels, harlots, etc. He sunk very, very low in life. And then he got out. And because he regretted what he did and expressed his ratzon, Hashem got him out eventually. The end of the story ends that for him to become the king again, he has to restore and make order, make seder from the throne left from the previous king. Okay? And in this throne, there's one detail which is the beginning of fixing the throne. That on the top of the back of the throne, there's a place for a wooden design of a rose. An image, a wooden carved image in color of a rose. And the son of the prince, the real king's son, he saw that on the bottom of the chair, that rose that's supposed to be on top was on the bottom. And he told him, this rose has to go on top. Once that's put on top, then you fix the other things, and then the throne will emit a beautiful melody and song with all these mechanical animals attached to it. There's many details in this story, you should see it. But the beginning of the rectification starts with putting the rose back. So in what we're saying on Chanukah, Nasa Nes La Shoshanim, a miracle is made for the roses. Like we said, the Pshat means for the Jewish people. But on a deeper level, on a Rabbi Nachman's perspective level, Shoshanim is hinting to, a miracle of the roses is basically hinting to a complete rectification from the chambers of exchanges. Because when you look at a rose, how does a rose grow? A rose is surrounded by many thorns. Many thorns. To get to it, you have to cut your finger. If you're now trying to get it with your bare hands, if you don't have the proper equipment, you get cut. It's surrounded by thorns, but it's a beautiful rose. But it's stuck with thorns. To get to it, you have to get to the thorns. You have to pass the thorns. So too, the holy sparks of you, that are trapped in the chambers of exchanges. To get to them, you have to go to all these thorns and thistles and bleeding and difficulty to get to the rose. So the miracle of having the shoshanim, right, comes through notar. I mean, notar kankanim. Notar means the leftover oil. And the simple meaning, they found one bottle, one jug of oil untouched. Everything else was impure. So compared to everything else impure, it's considered notar. It was one left behind. By miracle, we found one jug left behind. The Greeks didn't touch, they didn't see this. They overlooked this one jug of olive oil, and it's untouched. Notar also means a person who feels, I am nobody, I'm just leftover. Notar. I'm like excess, useless. Like the king's son here. He said, I'm frustrated. What am I? If I'm the king's son, what am I going through? What's this garbage I'm going through that Hashem's putting me through? And if now I'm the son of the slave, I also don't deserve this. Leave me alone. But I'm going through all these crazy things. So he feels like no one cares about them. Why does he go to the booze and the harlots? Because he feels like he's not important. So the words here umi notar, from the person who's notar, who thinks he's useless. The real truth of Nosson writes, the reason why you feel you're being pursued and you feel like garbage and you feel frustrated is because you possess very, very high sparks. Rav Nosson gives this rule. He says in Birkot HaShachar Lachagim, Likutey Moharan, if you see Yetzirah is pursuing you, it's because you're somebody very special. You are, because if you are nobody like you think you are, if you're notar, excess, unnecessary, useless like you think you are, the Yetzirah wouldn't invest so much time to make your life miserable. He would invest so much time in pursuing you. But the fact that he is pursuing you shows that you are somebody. You are special. You don't think so. You don't know so. They know so. That's why they're running after you. And the goal is to see past through it. To see that I am the son of Hashem. I am a prince. I am the son of the king. And all this is for me to get out, Bezrat Hashem. So notar comes the kankanim. Kankanim is translated as a jug. The jugs of oil were called kankanim. Kankan. It's spelt doubled. Kuf nun, kan. In Kabbalah, kan, there's what's called the chamber of kan tzipor. I can't go into this because I myself don't understand this properly, even minimum. Kan tzipor means the chamber of the nest of the bird. And this is another term for the attribute of bina, understanding. In this story, Rabbi Nachman's story of the exchanged children, which again I tell everyone should read this story inside out. You should know the story off by heart. It's so amazing. All the stories are, but this one, in our context of the chambers of exchanges, is so important to know. So you can see a deeper meaning of what you're going through in your life. In this story, before the prince is able to restore the throne and put the rose back on the top, which we said is now complete rectification of the chambers of exchanges, he's taught a special technique, which is called lehavin davar mitoch davar. That he sold a little box that he got, and this little box that he received, the prince, when put on an animal, the animal begins to sing. So there was a man with a horse, and he wanted to test out the box. He put it on the horse began to sing. And the rider of the horse, he said, wow, that's very nice. I want to buy it from you. And the prince said, no way, I'm not selling this. This is something that's amazing. You put a box on an animal, begins to sing. Where have you seen such a thing? So he said to him, listen, maximum, what do you get for that? It's like a comedy. Bravo. You want to get some coins. You can do an exposition of you standing next to an animal, put the box on the animal, and the animal will begin to sing, whatever, and people will say, bravo, and they give you coins. That's the maximum you can do of this. It's like a temporary entertainment. I have something greater. If you give me the box, I will teach it to you. I have a skill that I received from my ancestors, and I never revealed it to anybody yet. I'm going to reveal it to you. What's the technique? What's the skill? To understand one thing from the next. Meaning, when someone says something, or a situation comes before you, with this technique, you can derive another thing from it, even though it wasn't mentioned to you clearly, even it wasn't made to you explicitly, you can now develop it. That's lahavin davar mitoch davar. Okay, lavin means to understand the level of bina, one thing from the next. So there's two understandings. There's the understanding, the initial understanding, and then understand something derived. So kan, like we said, kan tzipor, is this chamber in the Kabbalah that refers to bina, and the jug is called kan, twice kan, as if to say understanding and deriving an understanding from that understanding. Lavin davar mitoch davar is kan. So going back to what we sing in Mao's Tur, umi notar, from the person who feels like he's left over, he's like excess, he doesn't matter. Hashem doesn't care about him, because if Hashem cared about him, why would he put him through such misery and difficulty and suffering that he's going through? So a person feels notar, yet he doesn't give up, and he's sincere and honest. He gets to the feat in life, the skill, the technique. Hashem gives him this gift. Of course, there's sacrifices, but it's worth it. And he gets to the gift of kan. So from notar, person who's left over, comes to kankanim. He comes to the skill, the technique of understanding one thing from the next. That's why it's kan. So from the notar comes kankanim. And once a person has the skill of understanding one thing from the next, he can now activate the miracle of the chambers of exchanges. Nasa nes la shoshanim. He now can make a miracle to restore the rose in Yiddish, the rezele. That's the wording Rabbi Nachman used in this story. The rose, the rezele, to have the rose put back on the top in the right proper place. Okay? So this gift, lavin davar mitoch davar, in Breslov teachings they say, this is the gift you get when you come close to tzaddikim. You need a tzaddik at the caliber of Yosef at tzaddik. He shines into you the ability to remember. Just like, for example, by Yosef himself. Rashi quotes the Midrash that when Potiphar's wife was tempting him, the temptation was almost unbearable. It was crazy. It says in the end of the Chumash that 10 drops of seed came out from between the fingers. Some say from the actual tip of the fingers, from under the nails, came out drops, because it was such a burning temptation, and he dug his feet into the earth and his toes until he felt pain. And then the semen, instead of coming out as wasted seed, came out between his fingers. It's a very deep thing. But just to show you how severe was the temptation from Potiphar's wife. And he passed the test. One of the reasons he passed the test, the Midrash says, is because as he was about to succumb to actually sleep with Potiphar's wife, he saw an image in the window of Yaakov, his father. Yaakov, even though it wasn't really Yaakov, it was an image of Yaakov telling Yosef, be careful. If now you sleep with her, you will lose your right as being one of the official 12 tribes. You won't be any more part of the picture. You won't have on the breastplate choshen of the Kohen Gadol. You won't have a stone. There won't be a stone corresponding to Yosef or Ephraim and Menashe, nothing. Okay? And that reminder woke him up. So too, Rav Nosson writes, when you come close to tzaddikim, they send you like Morse codes to remember you're about to fall very low, but they send you messages of hope. That's why it's so important you have a tzaddik in your life, whether living or even more so a tzaddik who's passed on and is living through his teachings, through his grave, and his students. They shine this light, okay? It's there to help you when you're in need, to shine you the kan, the idea, the light of kan, to understand one thing from the next. The tzaddikim send you a message. Oh, I thank you for the reminder. Boom, boom, boom. I got it now. Let's try this now. Maybe this is the way out. And you have the miracle of the Shoshanim, the miracle of the Shoshanim. So we should be zoche, not to give up, to activate, starting tonight, the 8th night of Chanukah, the light of Yosef, which is basically notzer chesed ratzon, to have ratzon. Just express your ratzon. That's the only guidelines you can get. Everything else is hidden. No one knows. No one can tell you. Not even the biggest tzaddikim can tell you your way out to extraction of the holy sparks in the chambers of exchanges and to come out. No one can give you guidelines. You're all alone in this. Okay? What they can tell you is the first of the last 6 attributes. Notzer chesed. You got to express your ratzon. You got to talk to Hashem. You got to tell Hashem what you want and where you are, and Just open your heart. Say, Hashem, I just wanted to be a good Jew. I just want to be a good Jew. I just want this. That activates the chesed, and then the rest is history. No one knows. It's not written down. That's why there's no revealed days of number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of Chanukah. Everything's included in day number 8. Chanukah Sameach, Chodesh Tov, and it should be an amazing year. An amazing year full of simcha and closeness to tzaddikim, true tzaddikim, following their advice of emunah and coming to all the goodies and gifts that are waiting for each and every one of us. Thank you, everyone. Shalom, and thank you for joining. Be well.